Hello and welcome to day 3 of your 14-day creative reset and renewal. So glad you're here. So glad you're doing this for yourself. And today we are going to practice sun salutations together. And this is probably the most practiced sequence of yoga, as it is one of the oldest ways to really get the fire going in the body. And it's meant to kind of be used as a warm-up for most classes and most yoga sequencing. So you have more than likely seen variations or practiced sun salutations before, but we are going to come onto the mat today with beginner's mind and also just discovering maybe a new way to come in and out of postures. I will try to give you some modifications, but I know each and every one of you, and you guys are super healthy and mindful of your own body, and I can't tell you enough to pay attention to your own body, to care for your own body. Your postures may not look like mine, and that's okay. What we're going to focus on is how good it feels to be in the posture and how grateful you are to be able to do what you can do. All right, those are the two things that we'll turn our attention to, is doing your best and being grateful that you can do what you can do. All right, so let's meet at the back of our mats, and it doesn't matter. You can turn your mat. How your mat is positioned, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you can see the camera well. So just position the screen from which you are watching the very best you can, where you don't have to tweak your neck too much, and you can both watch me and move with me. Okay, so we're coming to the backs of our mats. And I'm going to demonstrate from this the side view here so that you can see the postures and the alignment a little bit better. So again, practice wherever your mat is organized and fits into your space the best. All right, so come into mountain pose, bringing your feet underneath your hip bones, so hip bone distance apart. And let's peel the toes off of the floor and see how that kind of moves your body back into a position where really we want to stand mostly, but we don't. We usually put a lot of pressure on the toes. So just allowing those toes to come up, just spread them out and then lay them gently back onto the floor. Knees are nice and bent. And then your hips and your chest are stacked on top of one another with a nice neutral spine. Your chin is parallel to the floor. And then we're going to open the arms out to the sides with the palms facing forward. That helps to rotate the chest and shoulders open. Okay, and this is your mountain pose. So we're going to breathe in this mountain pose together in that 3-part breath that we practiced yesterday in our fluid and hydration class. So the breath comes in from belly, floats up through the ribs and into chest, feeling nice and full. And when you exhale, the chest drops down first, very subtle, but the exhale comes complete when it's out of the breath of the belly last. Okay, inhale, nice and full. And exhale to completion out of the mouth. Inhale in through the nose, from belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, subtly through the ribs and down into the belly last. All right, that's the flow of the breath. Go with your own pace. And as we stand here in the solid mountain starting position, this is the very start of the sun salutation. This is a posture. Mountain pose helps us to stand nice and sturdy with confidence and an elongated, lengthened body and spine, breathing in through the nostrils and all the breath out. One more breath in here. Exhale out all the breath out of the mouth. On your next inhale, the next move will be arms overhead. And we're just going to practice that first. So float the arms overhead and then let them come right back down where they came from, back beside the hips. Good. Inhale, float the arms up. And exhale, arms down. So we're going to kind of break these sun salutations down into each segment. So this segment is raising the arms up overhead. Next position is forward fold. So we're going to take that next. Just let the arms come down beside the hips first. Okay. To get into forward fold, we're going to take the arms overhead, breathing in, circle them up. When you exhale, hinge from the hips, bend your knees, strong straight spine, arms out to the sides like you're swan diving into a pool. Let the hands rest either on shins, ankles, toes, or all the way down to the floor, depending on your flexibility. Does not matter. Let your head completely rest down. And again, if you're really tight on your hamstrings, please don't worry about how far you come. Don't have to touch the floor. Just listen to your body and breathe into this forward fold. Stretching into the hamstrings and breathing into the hamstrings, creating more space for flexibility there. Good. Now from here, we're going to take a flat back or pike position by sliding the hands up to the shins and gazing forward, flattening up the back slightly here. Now hold here and draw the belly button in towards your spine, shoulders away from ears, and a nice long spine. Breathe in and out. This is its own position as well. Breaking it down, breathing into each posture, each segment of the sun salutation, feeling it, and we'll know to come back to it when we flow and connect them all together towards the end. So stay with me. On your next breath in, circle the arms up, just how they came down, like a reverse swan. Arms up, palms down at the heart center as you exhale. All right, good. So we're going to put all that together, starting in mountain pose. This is half sun salutation. So breathing in, the arms come overhead, nice and slow. We're moving slow. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive, hinge from the hips, heart open wide, hands complete at the heels, the floor, the toes, wherever, even the shins, totally fine. Rest the head here. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Next position is pike. Hands to shins, look forward. Exhale. Inhale and exhale here. When you exhale, round the back again. Next time you inhale, we're going to come back up, reverse swan dive, sweep your arms out and up. Inhale strong through the core and spine. Look up, reach up, palms down at the heart center. Right, excellent. We're going to flow through that again, so you can keep your hands here at the heart center, shoulders down and back. When you have your next inhalation, circle the arms overhead. Hinge from the hips, big swan dive forward to forward fold. Let the head rest when you get there. Then inhale, pike position, hands to shins, look forward. And exhale, round. Now we're going to come into a plank pose is next. So bend your knees a lot and walk your hands first to tabletop position. So everyone come down onto your knees. We're going to go through a few variations of plank pose here. So plank pose from the knees, untuck the toes, and then walk your hands forward towards the top of the mat. And notice a diagonal shape as that happens. So my head and my knees are all in a diagonal shape. My shoulders are over my wrist and my elbows are slightly bent so you don't hyperextend. All right, this is a great variation of plank pose. So holding here and breathing just a few breaths. Feeling that strong upper body. Good. And now take your hips back over your knees and walk your hands back to tabletop. Breathe in and breathe out. We're going to walk that back into a knee down plank. Hands walking forward towards the top of the mat. Hips sink down, but not in a sinking position. So keeping the hips slightly lifted. Now, if you want to go ahead and try a full plank, please tuck your toes, or if you know you already have a straight leg plank, please straighten the legs, press back through the heels, strong press away from the floor. Your upper back is rounded and pressing away from the floor as well. Breathing in and out here, hold steady, and then drop those knees down. Everybody drop your knees down. And then walk your hands slowly towards your knees. Untuck your toes and come up onto your knees, and let's just give a little bit of a shake to the wrist. All right, plank pose is hard, so do your best. Well, it's challenging, let's say that. Do your best, and these videos are meant for you to have forever. You will have them forever and build as your own tool to help create energy and strength in your body. So let's come back into that knee down plank. Let's all go to knee down plank. It's the most applicable way for a plank pose, and it still gives a lot of power to the body. So alignment, knee to head in a nice diagonal shape. This is your plank pose. Now next pose, we come down to the floor. So our inhale is here. Our exhale is elbows in towards the side of the body and lower the body down as gracefully as possible, all the way down to our belly. Our hands end up underneath our shoulders. And next pose is going to be our cobra pose. So the heels come apart from one another. That turns your hips open and relaxes your glutes. Now we're going to inhale just the chest and chin off the floor. So inhale, lift chest and chin, supported with the hands, but not working the arms much. You're working the lower back. And then when you exhale, let your chin and chest come back to the floor. Practice that a few more times. Inhale, lift the chest and chin. Hug the shoulder blades back together, open the heart, and then exhale it down. Good. And do one more. Inhale, cobra, just a baby cobra. And exhale down. So that is its own pose. Coming back up to plank pose or tabletop position next. So everybody push away from the floor hard and come onto the knees. And come back into tabletop position. All right. From tabletop position, we're going to take downward facing dog or puppy pose. I'll show you both. So if you, let's do puppy pose first. So this one is not quite as challenging on the full body. So let the arms come back forward. Let the elbows drop down. Keep your hips over your knees and have an arch in the upper back. Okay, so hips stay way up, head towards the floor. Take a couple of breaths in puppy pose. Okay, this is puppy pose. You're welcome to stay there. For those of you that have a downward dog, let's come back in, meet back in tabletop. Spread your fingertips super wide. Plant your hands down like roots. Tuck your toes. And then send your hips up towards the sky in a high V. Slight bend in the knees. Lift your hips high. Take your chest towards your thighs and look back at your toes. Strong press with those arms, nice, away from the floor, lifting those hips up. Breathe deeply in your downward dog pose. And everyone drop your knees down to the floor. Beautiful. So we just completed a few postures there. Plank, cobra, and downward dog or puppy pose. And those are the floor portions of the sun salutation. Next is a lunge portion. So we're meeting in tabletop position. Untuck your toes and take your right leg and lift it up towards the sky. And then slowly sweep that leg through or manually bring it through for a lunge. So we want to come to alignment where your knee and your ankle are stacked. And this is a low lunge. And we'll come into another variation of a high lunge in a moment, but coming into the low lunge to feel this low lunge. If you're comfortable here, please stay here. If you want to come into a high lunge, just tuck the back toe, lift the hips, slowly balance and come up solid into your low lunge or high lunge position, crescent pose. Breathe in and out here. Good. Please stay in that low lunge. If that feels better, you can drop that knee back down, come down. We'll meet you there. Now, come down to the floor, back into tabletop. Lift your left leg up on an inhale and come into that left side low lunge. Sweep that knee around and through the foot goes. It's like magic. You get better with it every time. Hands position on either side of the leg. As you lift your chest, lift your chin, breathe deep in your low lunge. Staying here if you're comfortable with this lunge, or tuck your back toe, straighten your leg in the back, lift hips, lift chest, arms open, palms to the sky, breathe deep here. Crescent pose or high lunge. Doing great, guys. Building that energy, building that fire. You can kind of see why the yogis did this sequence to build that fire, get the energy flowing. All right, coming back down into your low lunge slowly, slowly. We'll meet into tabletop position. All right, from here, we're going to come into a forward fold. So those of you that want to stay on your knees, you can simply just walk your hands towards your knees and then fold into fold forward. Now, those of you that want to try downward dog, coming from there, lift your hips into down dog. Breathe in and breathe out. And then walk hands to feet in downward dog. Exhale, in forward fold. Exhale into your forward fold. Deep breaths here. On your next inhalation, look forward, bring arms out and up, reverse swan dive, as we practiced before. Bring the palms together at the heart center and exhale. And that is a full sun salutation. Okay, so we broke it down with all of the parts and the pieces to build the energy up. And I gave just a few modifications on some of the more challenging postures. So please do your best and come along with me. We will continue to stay nice and slow with the sun salutation, but we're going to put everything together in a nice fluid movement. All right, mountain pose. Palms forward, shoulders down and back. Breathe in and out. Nice and sturdy here. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, big swan dive forward, hinge from the hips, coming into forward fold. Drop the head down heavy. Wherever your hands land is totally fine. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Then inhale, pike position, hands to shins. Look forward, nice flat spine, strong core. Exhale, release back into forward fold. Drop the head, spine curves forward, flexion. And now inhale, bend your knees, look forward, and come down into a tabletop position. Tabletop, keep walking your hands into plank from that tabletop. Knee down plank or powerful, straight leg, strong plank here. It is a brilliant thing to come down with your knees in this half plank position. We are breathing in, and when you exhale, bend the elbows to lower your body down all the way to the floor, nice and slow. Chin and chest hits the floor, hands don't move. Untuck your toes and let your heels fall apart from one another. Shake out your bum and make it nice and loose. So you are just working with your lower back. Lengthen and lift chest and chin off the floor with an inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Let's work with cobra. Twice more with breath. Inhale, lift, and down. Inhale, lift, and down. Doing great. Now we're going to push through the floor real strong into tabletop position. And puppy pose position is taking your hips over your knees, heart towards the floor. Your arms don't have to be straight, they can bend or come into downward dog. You choose your next position. We're going to breathe together. Nice and slow. If your hips are up and down dog, please lift them. Take chest towards thighs. Look towards toes and breathe those beautiful breaths. On an exhale, everyone meet in tabletop position, please. Inhale and exhale here in tabletop. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, sweep it through for a low lunge. Carry it through into alignment with your ankle and knee supporting each other. Tuck the back toe and come into a high lunge if you like. Please stay low if that suits you better. Open your chest when you come into a nice balanced crescent pose. Breathe deep breaths in your low lunge or high lunge, wherever you are. Smile and breathe. And we will meet back into tabletop nice and slow. Come back to the floor. Plant hands. Other side, left leg lifts up. Exhale, take it through strong, sweep through to alignment. That's what matters. Not what it looks like. Go ahead and take your high lunge if that's in your practice today. You choose. Please stay low if that's where you are. Honor yourself. You're doing awesome. Breathe wherever you are. Nice. And then come back to the floor, meeting in tabletop position. Meet in tabletop position or downward dog. Please stay in tabletop with knees down or come into downward dog, whatever suits you. Breathe deep. If you're in tabletop position, walk hands toward knees, curl toes under, and just start to straighten the legs and forward fold. Hands meet the feet or ankles. If you're in downward dog, walk hands to feet. In forward fold, you're breathing with the spine long, head and neck is heavy, nice and loose. On an inhale, strong core, look up, reach out and up with your arms. Palms come together at the heart center as you exhale. Okay, and we've got one more, you guys. So great. We're building that heat in the body. We're producing energy that will last for the rest of your day. So you're bringing your palms to the heart center. We are here in mountain pose, ready to start another flow of sun salutations. Nice and slow we will go, breathing and being comfortable with what we can do and grateful for what we can do. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, big swan dive forward. Touch toes, ankles, or shins. Let the head rest, forward fold. When you breathe in, look up, flat back, pike position. Exhale, relax the spine again. On your next inhale, we're walking hands to plank position, either knee down, so keep walking your hands towards the top of the mat. Create that diagonal shape in your knee down plank or tuck toes. Come into straight leg plank. You choose. We've got a few breaths here to hold and breathe together. Everyone lower their knees down And on an exhale, lower the chin and chest down nice and slow, elbows into the sides with control. Relax the heels away from each other, toes turning towards one another. Inhale, lift from the lower back in cobra. Chest and chin lifts off the floor. Exhale, bring the chest and chin back to the floor. Inhale, lengthen through the spine to lift up, supported by your hands, elbows in, and lower down. One more. Inhale, cobra, lift. Just your low back. Baby cobra is all we need. Exhale down. Beautiful. Now inhale, push slow and strong up. Back to tabletop position. Tabletop position. From here, take downward dog or puppy pose. Puppy pose is here. Downward dog is here. Now I'm going to demonstrate this time floating the leg through from downward dog into a lunge position. So if you're on your knees, come back into tabletop position and bring your right leg up towards the sky if you're in downward dog or tabletop position, then swing it through. Exhale, low lunge on the right side. Drop your knee down if you want to go to low lunge here. Take your time to position your legs to low lunge or come into the high lunge. You choose. Open chest. Freely flow the breath. Come back down, meeting in tabletop position. From tabletop position or downward dog, breathe in and out. Inhale, lifting your left leg up, either in table or down dog, and then sweep it through. Low lunge on the left side. Come to high lunge if that's in your practice today. Doing great. Keep breathing. Keep feeling that gratitude flowing that you can do this stuff. Meet in tabletop position. From tabletop position, walk your hands to forward fold or come back into downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Walk hands to feet in forward fold. Relax the head and neck. Breathe in and breathe out. On your next inhale, bend your knees. Lift your gaze, circle arms out and up. Reverse swan dive. Palms come back together at the heart center. Full exhale in completion of today's sun salutation warm-ups. Close the eyes and feel the body's resonance. Feel the heat by way of maybe heart rate coming in. Maybe you've had a little bit of a sweat. This is just a 15-minute practice, so you can do this anytime. You are so capable. This is not hard stuff. It can be challenging, but every time you do it, you feel stronger and stronger. This is one of the best ways to strengthen your body. Full complete yoga practice is in the sequence of sun salutations. All right, you guys. So blink your eyes open, and I will greet you with namaste. That is a gesture of gratitude and acknowledge that I see the light in you that reflects the light in me. And I'm so grateful that we're sharing this practice together in these 14 days. I'll see you around. We've got some fun and creative things coming your way, and we will meet you live at the end of the week. If you want to show up for that, that is absolutely optional. But I'd love to see your faces. Can't wait to speak with you and to see what your intentions are for this 14-day reset. And we are building upon this, this way to create a nice, stable, sustainable, attainable routine that we can maintain throughout this year and make 2025 an amazing year. So thanks again for joining us. I'll see you on the mat very soon. Namaste.